The enormous lecture hall of the Interstellar Academy fell silent as Professor Zixlorian floated to the center platform. His 7 appendages moved in perfect harmony as he adjusted the holographic display. The blue light from the projection illuminated the faces of 200 alien students from across the galaxy. Today we finalize selections for the most sought-after program in xenobiology, said the professor, his voice translator giving his words a metallic echo. The Earth. Immersion experience. Excited whispers rippled through the chamber. Earth was famous, or rather infamous, throughout galactic society. A death world with terrifying gravity, corrosive oxygen atmosphere, and most shocking of all, apex predators that still roamed free. Most developed planets had long ago eliminated their dangerous fauna, but Earth was different. Humans coexisted. With their predators, even protected them. In the front row, Thrix quivered with anticipation, her translucent skin revealing the rapid firing of her neural pathways. Next to her, Meepclo's crystalline body refracted the light into tiny rainbows across the floor. Behind them, Vrill's collective intelligence hummed inside their humanoid exoskeleton, while Zorn's gaseous form swirled anxiously inside his containment. Suit. The following students have been selected, announced Professor Zixlorian as names appeared on the holographic display. Thrix of Varaxia, Meepclo of Titan, Vrill Collective of Hive 9, and Zorn of the Nebula Cloud. Thrix's skin turned bright pink with excitement. She had spent 3 cycles studying Earth's ecosystems, fascinated by a world where danger was not eliminated but embraced. Her particular interest was Earth's tiger's solitary hunters, with strength that could kill most sentient species in seconds. After the announcement, the 4 selected students gathered in the preparation chamber. Professor Zixlorian activated a large screen showing footage of a tiger stalking through tall grass. This, he said, is your primary research subject, the Earth tiger, a perfect evolutionary killing machine. The footage showed the tiger leaping on an unsuspecting deer, taking it down with one powerful bite to the neck. Meepclo's crystalline structure vibrated with anxiety. Why would humans keep such dangerous creatures alive? Asked Meepclo. On Titan, we eliminated all predators 10,000 years ago. Professor Zixlorian moved closer to the screen. That is what you will study. The human relationship with danger is unique in the galaxy. They do not just tolerate these predators. They admire them. This understanding may be crucial for future diplomatic relations. Vrill's exoskeleton raised a hand. Our research indicates humans themselves were once prey species. How did they come to protect their former predators? An excellent question, replied the professor. Perhaps the most important one you can answer during your time on Earth. The preparation for Earth took a full lunar cycle. The students received vaccinations against Earth's numerous pathogens, gravity adjustment treatments, and specially designed environmental suits. They studied human languages and customs, focusing on the region they would visit, a place called India, home to the largest remaining population of wild tigers. On departure day, they boarded the interstellar vessel Curiosity, nervous but excited. The journey would take 3 Earth weeks, during which they would complete their final studies on tiger behavior, human conservation efforts, and proper safety protocols. Remember, warned Professor Zixlorian during their final briefing, never approach a tiger without your human guides. These creatures can accelerate faster than your reflexes can respond. Thrix downloaded the latest research papers into her neural implant. One statistic stood out to her. Humans had once hunted tigers nearly to extinction. This contradicted everything she understood about survival instincts. Why would an intelligent species deliberately seek out contact with a perfect killing machine? Meanwhile, on Earth, wildlife biologist Olivia Reed checked the preparations at Bandhavgarh National Park one last time. The alien quarters had been built according to the specifications sent by the Interstellar Academy separate atmospheric controls, gravity adjusters, and sterilization chambers to protect the visitors from Earth bacteria. The transport lands tomorrow, she told her colleague Jack Miller, who was setting up monitoring equipment in the observation tower. Are we ready for this? Jack shrugged. Ready to babysit 4 aliens who'll probably faint at the first tiger. Sighting? Sure. They're not tourists, Olivia corrected him. They're scientists, just like us. And this program could bring in enough funding to expand the reserve by 30 square miles. I still don't get why they're so interested in tigers specifically, said Jack, adjusting a camera lens. They've got space travel. What's so special about a big cat? Olivia smiled. According to their communications, predator-prey dynamics are rare in developed planets. Most species either evolved without predators or eliminated them early in their development. The fact that humans protect what could kill them is apparently fascinating. When you put it that way, it does sound pretty weird, Jack admitted. The next morning, Olivia stood on the landing pad as the alien transport descended through the clouds. The ship was surprisingly small, about the size of a city bus with smooth, silver sides that reflected the morning sun. It touched down silently, and a ramp extended to the ground. First to emerge was Thrix, her tentacles gripping the ramp tightly as she adjusted to Earth's gravity. Her transparent skin revealed organs and neural pathways pulsing with excitement and fear. She wore a simple environmental suit that covered only her breathing apparatus, as her species could tolerate Earth's atmosphere for short periods. Behind her came Meep Clo, entirely encased in a suit that protected their crystalline body from moisture. Then Vril, whose exoskeleton looked almost human except for the extra joint in their legs and the lack of a recognizable face. Finally, Zorro floated down the ramp, their gaseous form contained in a hovering sphere with mechanical arms attached. Welcome to Earth, said Olivia, careful not to make any sudden movements. I'm Dr. Olivia Reed, head biologist at Bondhavgar Tiger Reserve. Thrix extended a tentacle in what she had learned was a human greeting gesture. We are honored to study. On your world, she said, her translator converting her vibrations into English. We have many questions about your tigers, and we're happy to answer them, Olivia replied, gently shaking the offered appendage. But first, let's get you settled. You must be tired after your journey. As they walked toward the research center, the aliens stared at everything, the trees, the insects flying past, the birds calling from branches. To them, Earth was as alien as their worlds were to humans. Will we see tigers today? Asked Zorn, their gas forms swirling with anticipation. Inside their containment sphere. Not today, said Olivia. First we'll go through orientation and safety protocols. Tigers are not to be taken lightly, even by us humans. Yet humans hunted them, said Thrix, her skin pulsing with curiosity. This is what we find most puzzling. Olivia nodded. That's a complicated part of our history. We'll discuss it during orientation. As they reached the research center, a distant roar echoed through the forest. All 4 aliens froze. Don't worry, Olivia assured them. That tiger is at least 2 miles away. You're perfectly safe here. But the aliens weren't afraid. They were fascinated. They had come to study creatures that made sounds like that, and the strange humans who had decided to protect them instead of fear them. The most interesting research project of their academic careers had officially begun. The morning sun filtered through the tall trees as Olivia led the 4 alien students to the orientation room. Large screens covered the walls, each showing different camera feeds from throughout the Tiger Reserve. In one corner, a life-size tiger model stood frozen in mid-leap, its fangs bared. Meep Clo's crystalline body clinked softly as they approached the model. This is actual size? It is smaller than I imagined. "Don't let the size fool you," said Jack, who was setting up the presentation equipment. "Tigers can take down animals 5 times their weight. They're built for efficient killing." Vrill's exoskeleton moved closer to examine the model's teeth. "Our research indicated these creatures can bite through bone. Is this accurate?" "Completely accurate," Olivia confirmed. "Their bite force is among the strongest of all Earth predators. About 1,050 pounds of pressure." The aliens exchanged nervous glances. On their home worlds, they had evolved as prey species. Their intelligence had developed specifically to avoid danger, not to confront it. The idea of being near such efficient predators went against their deepest instincts. Olivia dimmed the lights and started the presentation. "Before we go into the field, you need to understand tiger behavior and our safety protocols." The main screen showed footage of tigers hunting various prey deer, wild boar, and water buffalo. The aliens watched with a mixture of fear and fascination as the powerful cats demonstrated their hunting techniques. "Notice how they always go for the neck," Olivia explained. "A tiger kills by severing the spinal cord or suffocating its prey. It's quick and efficient." "Terrifying," whispered Zorn, their gaseous forms swirling anxiously inside their containment sphere. The presentation continued with footage of tigers swimming, climbing trees, and caring for cubs. The aliens began to relax as they observed these other behaviors, taking notes and asking questions. Then Olivia reached the section titled Human-Tiger Interactions. The screen showed historical photos of hunters posing with dead tigers, tiger skin rugs in luxury homes, and tiger parts being sold in markets. "Unfortunately, humans have a long history of hunting tigers," Olivia explained. "For sport, for their fur, and for traditional medicines. We nearly drove them to extinction." The room fell completely silent. The aliens stared at the images, their bodies showing signs of shock in their various ways. Thrix's skin had turned completely white. Meepclow's crystals had stopped their usual gentle pulsing. Vrill's exoskeleton had frozen in place. Zorn's gas had condensed into a tight ball. "Your species hunts the hunters?" Thrix finally asked, her translator barely picking up her faint vibrations. Olivia nodded. "Yes, it's not something we're proud of now. In the past century, we've lost over 90% of wild tigers. That's why this reserve exists, to protect the tigers that remain." "But why?" asked Meepclow. "Why would humans seek out such dangerous creatures?" "Partly for status," Jack cut in. Killing dangerous animals was seen as brave. Tiger parts were valuable and rare. And some cultures believed tiger parts had special powers. The aliens struggled to process this information. It violated everything they understood about survival and intelligence. In their worlds, intelligence evolved specifically to avoid danger, not to seek it out. "We have a guest coming today who can offer a unique perspective," Olivia said, changing the subject. "Steve Collins is a former poacher who now works in conservation." Later that afternoon, a weather-beaten man with a scarred face and missing fingers arrived at the research center. Steve Collins walked with a slight limp as he approached the alien group gathered in the meeting room. "These are the visitors. From space, huh?" he said, looking at each alien with undisguised curiosity. "Never thought I'd see the day." Olivia introduced Steve to the group. Steve has a unique perspective on tiger conservation. He hunted tigers for 15 years before changing his path. Thrix's skin rippled with confusion and interest. "You deliberately sought out these predators? Why would you risk your life this way?" Steve sat down heavily in a chair. "Money, mostly. A single tiger could fetch more than I'd make in 3 years of honest work. And there was the thrill of it matching wits with the perfect hunter." He held up his right hand, showing the missing fingers. "This is what happens when you make a mistake. Got too close to a female with cubs. She caught me setting a trap. Yet you survived, observed Vril, their voice coming from speakers in their exoskeleton. Barely, Steve admitted. And it changed me. There I was, bleeding out, and this tiger, she could have finished me. Instead, she just stood there, looking at me like I wasn't worth the trouble. Then she led her cubs away. The aliens were captivated by his story. In their cultures, encounters with apex predators didn't have survivors to tell the tale. That's when I realized these animals aren't just killing machines. They're intelligent. They make choices. They don't waste energy on pointless killing. Steve looked down at his scarred hand. I didn't deserve her mercy, but she gave it anyway. Made me see things differently. And now you protect them? Asked Zorn. Best job I've ever had, Steve said with a smile. I know all the poachers' tricks, so I can stop them before they get to the tigers. After Steve left, the aliens gathered in their common room to discuss what they had learned. Earth was proving more complex than they had anticipated. It defies evolutionary logic, said Meep Klo. Intelligent beings should avoid apex predators, not hunt them. Perhaps human intelligence evolved differently than ours, suggested Thrix. Not just to escape danger, but to overcome it. Tomorrow we begin field observations, Rill reminded them. We should prepare our equipment. As they checked their recording devices and environmental suits, Olivia knocked on their door. Just wanted to make sure you're all set for tomorrow. We'll be heading out at dawn to a tiger territory. There's a female with 2 cubs in that area. Will it be safe? Asked Meep Klo. We'll be in a covered jeep, Olivia assured them. Tigers generally ignore vehicles. They don't see them as prey or threat. But it's important to stay quiet and never reach outside the vehicle. After Olivia left, the 4 aliens looked at each other. Despite their fears, they felt a growing excitement. Tomorrow, they would see a tiger in its natural habitat, a creature their species would have done everything possible to avoid or eliminate. One thing is certain, said Thrix as they prepared for sleep cycle. Humans are as strange as the predators they protect. Perhaps even stranger. That night, the distant roars of tigers echoed through the reserve. Instead of cowering in fear as their instincts urged, the aliens listened intently, recording the sounds for analysis. They had come to study tigers, but they were beginning to realize they were also studying humanity, a species that hunted what hunted them, a paradox that challenged everything they thought they knew about evolution and intelligence. The first light of dawn painted the sky pink as the aliens climbed into the open-sided jeep. Olivia sat in the driver's seat with Jack beside her. The 4 visitors settled in the back, their various environmental suits adjusted for the early morning chill. Remember, Olivia said as she started the engine. Absolute silence once we enter tiger territory. No sudden movements. Keep all appendages inside the vehicle at all times. The jeep bumped along the dirt road, deeper into the forest. Birds called from the trees, and small animals scattered at their approach. The aliens recorded everything, fascinated by the abundance of life forms. Earth has more biodiversity in this small area than my entire home planet, whispered Thrix, her skin changing color to match the passing foliage. After an hour of driving, Olivia suddenly raised her hand and cut the engine. She pointed silently to a clearing ahead. There, drinking from a small pond, was a tiger. Her orange and black coat gleamed in the morning sun. Behind her, 2 half-grown cubs played, swatting at each other with oversized paws. The aliens froze. Seeing the tiger on screens was one thing. Seeing it in person, with nothing but open air between them, was entirely different. The tiger was more beautiful, more powerful, and more terrifying than they had imagined. Thrix's tentacles trembled as she activated her recording equipment. Meep Klo's crystalline structure vibrated at a frequency that suggested extreme stress. Vrill's exoskeleton became completely still as whole members of the collective focused on the predator. Zorn's gaseous form swirled rapidly inside their containment. Sphere Dot the tiger looked up, her amber eyes seeming to stare directly at them. She made no aggressive moves, merely watching the vehicle with casual interest before returning to her drink. For the next 20 minutes, they observed in silence as the tiger family went about their morning routine. The mother groomed her cubs, the cubs wrestled with each other, and eventually they disappeared back into the tall grass. That was Sita, Olivia explained as she started the jeep again. She's 8 years old and on her second litter. Those cubs are about 10 months old. She knew we were here, said Meep Clo, still vibrating with nervousness. Why didn't she attack? We don't register as prey, Jack explained. Tigers hunt specific animals they recognize as food. Humans and vehicles don't fit their prey image unless they're desperate or threatened. But humans hunt them, Grill pointed out. Wouldn't that make humans their enemies? Tigers don't think that way, said Olivia. They don't hold grudges or make plans for revenge. They live in the moment, responding to immediate threats and opportunities. Over the next week, the aliens settled into a routine. Mornings were spent in the field, observing tigers and other wildlife. Afternoons were for analyzing data and comparing notes. Each alien focused on different aspects of tiger behavior.me, EP-KLO, studied how tigers moved, fascinated by the combination of power and stealth that seemed physically impossible for creatures of their size. Their muscles contain more fast-twitch fibers than any predator on my world, they explained during an evening discussion. They can accelerate faster than most vehicles and leap distances that defy their weight. Vril analyzed tiger vocalizations, particularly how their roars affected other animals in the forest. The frequency of a tiger's roar can paralyze prey with fear, they reported. It is similar to psychological warfare tactics used by ancient spacefaring civilizations. Zorn became obsessed with tiger territoriality, mapping how the big cats marked and defended their space. Their territory marking follows mathematical patterns similar to cosmic expansion, they noted. Each tiger creates a perfect buffer zone around their core hunting grounds. Thrix, meanwhile, focused on hunting behavior. She spent hours studying footage of tigers stalking and capturing prey. They adjust strategies based on prey type, she told the group. Different approaches for different animals. This suggests higher cognitive function than we previously believed. On the 8th day of their research, something unexpected happened. The team discovered fresh tire tracks on a rarely used trail tracks that didn't belong to any reserve vehicle. Jack examined the ground with a frown. Poachers, he said grimly. They've been through here recently. Olivia immediately radioed the ranger station. Katie, we've got signs of intruders in Sector 7, near Sita's territory. Can you send a patrol? The radio crackled with static before. A woman's voice replied, Copy that, Olivia. All patrols are currently responding to a situation in the north section. Can you document the evidence and return to base? We'll check it out as soon as possible. As they photographed the tire tracks and other signs of intrusion, Thrix discovered something that made her skin turn pale with distress. A metal snare hidden in the undergrowth. This is designed to trap a tiger, she said, her tentacles carefully tracing the mechanism without triggering it. The design is cruel. It would cause extreme pain. Olivia's face hardened as she documented the trap. These are illegal. If Sita or her cubs wandered into this, the aliens looked at each other. For the first time, they felt something beyond scientific curiosity. They felt concern for the tigers they had been studying. Back at the research center, Olivia called an emergency meeting with all staff. Katie Nguyen, the head ranger, joined them via video link, her uniform dusty from the field. We found 3 more traps in the north section, Katie reported, and signs of at least 2 vehicles. This is an organized operation. "What can we do?" asked Jack. "We're organizing night patrols," said Katie. "But we're short-staffed. The poachers seem to know our schedule and patrol routes." "We would like to help," Thrix said suddenly, surprising everyone, including herself. The other aliens looked at her in shock. "What?" asked Olivia, clearly not expecting this. "We have equipment that might be useful," Thrix continued. "Meep Clo's sensory crystals can detect movement from great distances. Zorn can cover large areas quickly without making noise. Vrill's exoskeleton has night vision capabilities superior to your technology." "And you?" asked Katie, looking at Thrix with interest. "My species can change color to match any background. I am essentially invisible in the correct surroundings." The humans exchanged surprised glances. Katie looked thoughtful. "It could be dangerous. These poachers are armed and desperate." "On our worlds," Zorn said, their gas forms swirling with determination, "we would evacuate immediately if apex predators were nearby. But here, we've seen humans risk themselves to protect these predators. We want to understand this paradox by experiencing it ourselves." After some discussion, Katie agreed to let the aliens join a patrol, but only under strict supervision. As the meeting ended, Jack pulled Olivia aside. "Are you sure about this? They're academics, not rangers." Olivia watched the aliens preparing their equipment with newfound purpose. "I think there's more to them than we realized. They came here to study tigers, but they're learning about courage, too." That night, as they prepared for the patrol, Thrix reviewed her notes. Her research question had evolved from "Why do humans protect dangerous predators?" to "Why do humans risk themselves for other species at all?" She hoped tonight's experience might provide some answers. Night settled over the tiger reserve like a dark blanket. Stars appeared in the clear sky, more stars than the aliens had ever seen from their home worlds. 2 jeeps moved slowly along different trails, their headlights off. The teams used night vision equipment to navigate Dot in the first jeep. Katie led with 2 rangers. In the second, Olivia drove with Jack beside her and the 4 aliens in the back. Everyone wore dark clothing. Thrix had changed her skin color to match the night shadows. Meep Clo had dimmed the usual glow of their crystalline body. Vrill's exoskeleton moved with unusual silence. Zorn's containment sphere had been modified with sound-absorbing material. "We'll patrol the border area where we found the tracks," Katie's voice said softly through their radio. "Your team checked the area near the waterhole, where Sita was seen this morning." Olivia guided the jeep slowly through the forest. The aliens felt a mix of fear and excitement. This was not what they had expected when they signed up for a research trip to study Earth's apex predators. "Stop here," Jack whispered after 30 minutes of driving. "We'll continue on foot to the waterhole. Less noise that way." The group moved carefully through the trees. Thrix led the way, her chameleon-like skin making her nearly invisible. Meep Clo's sensors swept the area ahead, detecting any movement larger than an insect. Vrill's night vision scanned the darkness, while Zorn floated silently above, getting a view from overhead. "Movement ahead," whispered Meep Clo suddenly. 200 meters near the water. 3 separate heat signatures. Olivia signaled 4. Everyone to freeze. She raised her night vision binoculars. "Poachers," she confirmed in a whisper. 3 of them setting up near the waterhole. They must know Sita brings her cubs there. Jack reached for his radio to call Katie, but Olivia stopped him. "Wait, look at the far side of the clearing." Through their various sensing equipment, the group saw what Olivia had spotted. Sita and her cubs were approaching the water from the opposite direction. The poachers were lying in wait, unaware that the tiger family was already nearby. "We need to warn Katie, but any noise might trigger the poachers to shoot," Olivia whispered urgently. I can move without being detected, offered Thrix. My skin color will keep me hidden. Too dangerous, Jack objected. These poachers are armed. We need to split up, decided Olivia. Jack, you and Vril circle around to get a better position. I'll stay here with Meep Clo. Thrix, you and Zorn try to get closer to Cedacy if you can warn her away somehow. The aliens looked at each other in surprise. On their homeworlds, splitting up in the presence of danger was considered the worst possible strategy. Yet here was Olivia suggesting it calmly. Jack and Vril moved silently to the right. Thrix and Zorn headed left toward where Sita and her cubs were approaching. Olivia and Meep Clo remained in position, watching the poachers through night vision equipment. Thrix and Zorn reached a position where they could see Sita clearly. The tiger was moving cautiously, her cubs following behind her. She seemed to sense something was wrong, pausing frequently to sniff the air. How do we warn a tiger? Zorn whispered, their gas forms swirling with anxiety inside their containment. Sphere. I'm not sure, admitted Thrix, but I think I can make her change direction. Thrix focused, changing her skin pattern to match that of a male tiger. Among her species, visual mimicry was a common defense mechanism. She had studied tiger markings extensively and now put that knowledge to use, creating a convincing pattern of stripes on her skin. Then she moved slightly, allowing her scent to drift toward Sita. The effect was immediate. Sita froze, her nose twitching. A strange male tiger in her territory, near her cubs, was a serious threat. She growled softly and turned away, guiding her cubs in another direction. It worked, whispered Zorn in amazement. Meanwhile, Jack and Vril had reached a position behind the poachers. There were 3 men with rifles, setting up what looked like a large trap near the waterhole. We need to document this for evidence, Jack whispered to Vril. Can your visual systems record what they're doing? Vril's exoskeleton nodded, the collective intelligence inside focusing all sensors on the poachers. They were recording everything faces. Equipment, the illegal trap. At that moment, one of the poachers turned and spotted the faint glow from Vril's optical sensors. Someone's here, he shouted, raising his rifle. Everything happened at once. The poacher fired a warning shot into the air. The sound echoed through the forest. The other poachers scrambled to gather their equipment. In the distance, Sita roared. In alarm, the sound making the aliens' bodies respond with primal fear. Jack stood up, shining a powerful flashlight at the poachers. Park rangers, drop your weapons, the poachers panicked. One ran immediately into the forest. Another aimed his rifle at Jack. The third began frantically packing their trapping gear. Vril's exoskeleton moved with surprising speed, stepping in front of Jack as the poacher took aim. The collective intelligence had made a decision no individual would have made to protect their human companion. What the hell is that? The poacher shouted, seeing Vril's alien form in the flashlight beam. Before he could fire, bright lights flooded the clearing as Katie and her rangers arrived in there. Jeep, responding to the gunshot. Drop your weapons now, Katie ordered through a loudspeaker. You are surrounded. The poachers, faced with rangers, and what they thought was some kind of monster, surrendered. As Katie's team handcuffed them, Olivia and Meep Clo emerged from their hiding spot. Everyone okay? Olivia asked, checking Jack and Vril for injuries. We're fine, Jack said, looking at Vril with new respect. Thanks to our friend here. Thrix and Zorn rejoined the group, explaining how they had managed to turn Sita away from danger. You saved her and her cubs, Olivia said with admiration. Quick thinking with that male tiger mimicry. As the rangers took the captured poachers to their vehicles, Katie approached the group. Good work, all of you. We've been after this gang for months. The evidence Vril recorded will help put them away for a long time. Later that night, Back at the research center, the aliens gathered in their common room. They were quiet, processing what had happened. "I acted to protect Jack without consulting the collective first," Rill finally said. "This is unprecedented." "I risked detection to save a predator," Thrix added, her skin still showing traces of tiger stripes. "On my world, this would be considered insanity. Yet it felt right," said Zorn. "More right than running away would have felt." Meep Close crystals pulsed with soft light. "Perhaps we are beginning to understand why humans protect these creatures. It is not logical, but it is ... satisfying." Outside their window, they could hear Sita roaring in the distance, safe with her cubs for another night. The sound no longer filled them with only fear. Now it also brought a strange new feeling pride. 3 weeks had passed since the night patrol incident. The alien students gathered in the research center's main room, preparing for their final presentation. Their time on Earth was ending. Soon they would return to the Interstellar Academy. With their findings, large screens displayed their research data detailed analysis of tiger hunting patterns, territory mapping, vocalization frequencies, and movement studies. But their conclusions had evolved far beyond what they had expected. When they first arrived, "Is everyone ready?" asked Olivia, entering the room with Jack and Katie. "The video link to your academy is active." Thrix's skin rippled with nervous energy. "We are ready. Professor Zixlorian and the Academy Board are waiting." The main screen flickered to life, showing a large lecture hall filled with alien students and faculty. Professor Zixlorian floated in the center, his 7 appendages moving with anticipation. "Greetings from Earth," Thrix began, stepping forward. "We are pleased to present our findings from our study of Earth's apex predators, specifically the tiger." For the next hour, each student presented their research. Their audience watched with growing surprise as the presentation took an unexpected direction. Thrix explained how humans had evolved not by avoiding predators, but by confronting them. Unlike our species, which developed intelligence primarily to hide from threats, humans developed tools and cooperation specifically to overcome dangerous predators. This fundamental difference shaped their entire civilization. She displayed images of ancient human cave paintings showing hunters facing large predators. From their earliest history, humans did not just fear predators, they studied them, learned from them, and eventually hunted them. Meep Clo presented next, their crystals glowing with excitement. "Our statistical analysis reveals something fascinating. Earth species that evolved alongside the most dangerous predators developed the most sophisticated survival strategies. The pressure from predators does not limit evolution, it accelerates it." They showed comparative data from their home planets, where the removal of predators had led to slower rates of evolutionary change. On Earth, the constant threat of predation created an evolutionary arms race that produced both highly efficient predators like tigers and highly adaptable prey species like humans. Vrill's exoskeleton moved to the center. Human mythology across cultures shows a unique psychological relationship with predators. They fear them, yes, but they also admire and even worship them. The screen displayed images of tiger deities from various human cultures. Humans see in predators qualities they wish to possess: strength, grace, power. They hunt what hunts them not just for survival, but to prove their own worth. Zorn concluded the presentation, their gaseous forms swirling with confidence. "Our most significant finding is this: humanity's success as a species stems directly from their willingness to hunt what hunts them. This trait makes them both terrifying and admirable." The screen showed footage from the night patrol, the aliens working alongside humans to protect tigers from poachers. "We came to study a paradox. Why would intelligent beings protect predators? That could kill them? We found the answer by experiencing it ourselves." Professor Zixlorian S. appendages trembled with surprise. You put yourselves at risk to protect these dangerous creatures? This violates every survival protocol we teach. Yes, admitted Thrix. And in doing so, we learned something that could not be understood from a safe distance. Humans protect. Tigers not because tigers are safe, but because they are necessary. The very danger these predators represent reminds humans of their place in nature. The presentation ended with footage Olivia had recorded the previous day, a scene of a rehabilitated tiger being released back into the wild. The tiger, a young male who had been injured by a vehicle, bounded from his transport cage into the forest. The camera then panned to show Olivia standing unprotected as the predator disappeared into the jungle, a look of satisfaction on her face. This image, said Zorn, contains the essence of what makes humans unique in the galaxy. They find meaning in protecting what could harm them. After the presentation ended and the video link closed, Professor Zix Lorien sat alone in his office, reviewing the students' final reports. His usual scientific detachment was replaced by growing concern about if humans protected what threatened them, if they hunted what hunted them. What did that mean for the galaxy when humanity fully emerged? Into interstellar society? Perhaps the most dangerous species of all was the one that did not know when to be afraid. Meanwhile, on Earth, Olivia received a notification on her computer. She opened it to find a message from the Interstellar Academy. The Tiger Conservation Program would receive 4 times its current funding for the next 10 Earth years. Good news? Asked Jack, seeing her surprised expression. Very good news, Olivia replied, showing him the message. It seems our visitors were impressed by what they saw here. Attached to the funding notification was a personal note from the yacht. Alien students. We came to study Earth's apex predators. We discovered they already have guardians just as formidable. Katie entered the office, her expression serious. We've got reports of illegal logging near the eastern border of the reserve. It's not just the tigers at risk, it's their entire habitat. Olivia nodded, already reaching for her field gear. Let's go. As they headed out, Olivia thought about the aliens' departure earlier that morning. Thrix had changed her skin color to match the blue of the Earth sky as a gesture of respect. Meep Klo had given Olivia a small crystal that would glow whenever tigers were nearby. Vril had updated all the reserve's monitoring equipment with technology far beyond Earth's current capabilities. Zorn had created detailed atmospheric maps of the entire reserve that would track any unusual pollutants or intrusions. The aliens had come to study tigers, but they had left as protectors. They had crossed interstellar space seeking knowledge about Earth's predators and found something unexpected, a reflection of themselves in the humans who risked their lives to save creatures that could kill them. That evening, as sunset painted the sky orange, Olivia stood on the observation tower. In the distance, she could see Sita and her cubs crossing an open meadow. The tiger paused, looking directly at the tower as if sensing Olivia's presence. For a moment, predator and protector regarded each other across the distance. Olivia thought about what the aliens had learned during their stay. Humans were different from other intelligent species because they had evolved not by running from danger, but by facing it. This had made them uniquely suited to be guardians of the very creatures that had once hunted them. As Sita disappeared into the forest with her cubs, Olivia smiled. Someday, humans would venture into the stars, meeting other intelligent species, and they would carry with them this distinctive trait, the courage to protect what others feared, to value the dangerous and the wild, to be guardians of balance, rather than eliminators of threat. The galaxy might indeed find humans strange, perhaps even frightening. But as the aliens had discovered, there was something admirable in a species that hunted what hunted them, and then chose to protect it. Instead,